Alright, let's go over week 2 quiz. The left and right page numbers of an open book are two consecutive integers, so one of them must be x, and on the next page it would be x plus 1. And the sum is 339, so if we add the two numbers we should get 339. So what is 1x plus 1x? That's 2x plus 1 equals 339. But we want to solve for x now. We don't want 2x plus 1. Let's subtract 1 from both sides. This will bring 2x equal to 338. But then we want x, so let's divide both sides by 2. X would be 1, 13 by 2 is 6, 18 by 2, 9. The smaller page is going to be x, which is 169, and the larger page would be 170. To make sure we did this right, let's just add what is 169 plus 170. This is 9, 7 and 6, 13, 3 and carry 1, 2 plus 1, 3. And that's exactly what we started with. 339 is what we started with. Let's go to the next question. Solve the equation for x. So now we're going to work on solving this equation for x. We have a negative 2 we need to distribute, and then that would be my first step. So let's go ahead and distribute. Negative 2 times 5x is negative 10x. Negative 2 times negative 1 is plus 2, and then we have a plus 6. And of course 2 plus 6 is just 8. So now we have negative 10x plus 8. Let's see, it is equal to negative 10x plus 8. So these are exactly the same on both sides. You know, you have negative 10x plus 8 equals negative 10x plus 8. So if you just add 10x to both sides, then you're going to have 8 equals 8. And this is true for any value for x. So no matter what value of x, this is called an identity. And let me see what options do we have here. The solution is all real numbers, so that would be the case. So when you have a case where you have a true statement, this is called a true statement, and 8 equals to 8 is a true statement. Therefore we call the equation identity, and the solution would be all real numbers. Let's try number 3. On number 3, I need to solve the following equation. Looking at this equation, I have an 8, a 4, and a 2 in the denominator. The best way to start this solving is by simplifying the fractions. We need to multiply every term by 8, the lowest common multiple. 8 is a multiple of 4, 8 is a multiple of 2, and 8 is a multiple of itself. So my lowest common denominator is 8. Let's go ahead and multiply 8 by everything. If I multiply 8 by, let me just write it down first, and then we can go over simplifying those fractions. Minus 2 plus 1/2 x, this is the left hand side, equals 8. We're going to multiply also by the right hand side. 3 over 8x plus 1 over 4. And so now if you multiply, this is going to be 8 over 1. You multiply straight across with the first term, but then you know that 8 divided by 4 is 2. Or you can divide 8 by 4, 2, and 4 by 4 is 1. So this is what we call reducing a fraction. When you divide the numerator and denominator by the same number, in this case we're dividing up and down by 4. So that would be 2 times 3x. That's a 6x. That is left from this one. 8 times negative 2 is negative 16. 8 times 1/2 x, again 2 by 2 is 1, 8 by 2 is 4, 4 times x, that's a 4x. Of course we can combine these two. 6 plus 4 is 10x minus 16. That's my left hand side. Let's go to the right hand side. 8 and 8 cancel. 8 times 8 and 8 cancel, so that's going to be only 3x. 8 and 4 cancel also. 8 by 4 is 2, 4 by 4 is 1, so that's a 2 times 1, and that's only a 2. So this is equal to 3x plus 2. Now we want to solve for x. We're going to separate variables. Move the x to the left, the 16 to the right. Subtract 3x from both sides. And that would make the 3x move to the left. Let's move the negative 16 to the right. We just add 16 to both sides. Now we're going to separate variables. All I did here is separate variable. I moved the 3x to the left. I move the negative 16 to the right. Okay. So what's 10x minus 3x? That's 7x. These two will cancel. These two will cancel. 16 plus 2 is 18. And x equals 18 over 7. Now, let me make sure I did this right. Let's try again. Multiply everything by 8. 8 times 3 over 4. 8 by 4 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6x. 8 times negative 2 is negative 16, and 8 times 1/2 x is 4x. So this looks good. On the right side, I have 8 times 3 over 8x. The 8 cancel, so that's a 3x. 8 divided by 4 is 2, and that's a 2. So 6x plus 4x is 10x minus 16 equals 3x plus 2. Now subtracting 3x from both sides, I get a 7x. Adding 16 to both sides, I get an 18, and 18 and 7 cannot be reduced. So the question is, show the correct choice below. Fill in the answer but to complete your choice. Simplify your answer. So I cannot simplify my answer anymore. I want to keep it in the fraction notation. 18 and 7 has no common factor, so I'm going to leave it as 18 over 7. So we cannot simplify this fraction anymore, even though it's improper fraction. MyMathLab does not want us to change it to mixed number. So let's keep it as 18 over 7. We will see what happens later on. Number 4, solve the equation, check the solution. So how do we solve for this one? All we have to do is isolate x. Let's start by subtracting 1 from both sides. So now we have negative x plus 1 equals 16. Subtract 1 from both sides. That way we can move the 1 to the right. This becomes negative x. These two will cancel, and that's 15. But I don't want negative x. I want just x by itself. So let's multiply both sides by negative 1. And then negative times negative is positive. So that would bring me x. Negative times 15 is negative 15. So my final answer is negative 15. You can check what is negative 15. It's positive 15 plus 1, 16. Next. Let's try this one now. Twice the sum. Twice the sum. So we're trying to twice the sum. The sum of what? A number and 7. A number is x and 7. So twice the sum, a number and 7, is equal to 3 times the difference of the number and 4. Difference of the number and 4. So here we have the sum. Here we have the difference. So that's going to be the sum, we use the addition. For the difference, we use subtraction. Find the number. Okay, let's distribute. 2, 2, 3, 3. 2x plus 14 equals 3x minus 12. Okay, I want to find x. So let's move the 3x to the left. Subtract 3x from both sides. Let's move the 14 to the right. Subtract 14 from both sides. So I'm always adding the opposite of the number. The opposite of 3x is negative 3x. The opposite of 14 is negative 14. 2x minus 3x is negative 1x or negative x. These will cancel. These will cancel. Negative 12, negative 14 is negative 26, because when you have like signs, you add. This is 26, but we keep the same sign. So negative x equals negative 26. We don't want negative x, we want x. So multiply both sides by negative 1, and therefore x equals plus 26. Final answer. So we're done. Let's see what we did here. Alright, so where do we submit? Submit the quiz. Okay, I got 100. All right, good. That's a good. Okay. All right, thank you. So